Hi guys, welcome to a really quite unusual video. We're looking at a visual novel called Tsuyuchiru Letter, Umi to Shiori ni Amaoto, and this is the first visual novel that I have actually finished reading in Japanese. And today I kind of wanted to say my experiences about reading it as a first story, and also why I think I would recommend it quite a bit for anybody who's thinking of beginning visual novels in Japanese, because I began this story with basically no experience in immersing myself in the language. So as you can see from my playtime, it was really difficult at first. But I think this visual novel really helped me improve grammar, especially. But also, I learnt an absolute ton of words for it. And it has quite a few repeated words as well. So if you see a word, if you see a new word, it's likely that sometimes it will be repeated and you'll be able to learn it just by seeing it more than once, rather than making a real effort to take the meaning in, which is really nice. And the visual novel's short as well. I think the VNDB average length is 8 hours. And I just laugh masochistically when I show you my playtime here. But that's because I found this visual novel so much of a challenge at first. I mean, I still did find it a challenge at the end. There were still things that I didn't understand, but the amount of things I didn't understand really decreased. And I think this visual novel's also quite nice in the sense that a lot of the themes that are presented are quite simple. The sentences are, some of them are not that bad, but mostly they're fine. And also, I think what's really nice about this visual novel is in the backlog, when you've read something, you can then go back and you can jump back to that specific part that you've read. So if you get a text hooker or something, I'll show you the one I use actually. I use Luna Translator and JL. And I've still not installed the update of JL, seriously. I've had this prompt so many times and I've just never been bothered. But I use the text hooker here to kind of copy all my text to the clipboard. And then what this does is if you hover your mouse over the text, you can get the dictionary. You can get the dictionary entry for the word, which is really useful. And it's quite a nice experience. But yeah, the reason why the backlog jump feature is so helpful is because that makes it so that if you have a piece of dialogue you want to revisit, you can easily do so. And obviously the text hookers won't I won't really say break, but they won't really output the things you're not intending to. And do you know what's brilliant? If you press Shift and E when playing, you get an English translation. Now, beware, this English translation is really localized, so sometimes it can be very inaccurate, but it's really nice sometimes for just getting the general meaning of something. Just getting an implication of what it means. Like, whenever I don't understand something, like really don't understand something, what I do is I firstly look at the translation the text hooker provides, and then sometimes I get the English translation just so that I can maybe get a picture of what's being said. It's obviously the English translation is not the same as the Japanese, so it's not fully helpful, but it is a bit. And it's nice that they have an option like that. It's not really something I've seen in a visual novel before. And it was honestly a really quite fun experience. I think now I'll tell you about the story in general, for anybody who has read this story beforehand. So I think I'd give this story like maybe a 5 or 6 out of 10. So I really liked just the development of everything that happened with Mikoto and Shiori, but the only problem I had is, so I'll tell you the problem. So we had too many times where we repeated perspectives. Sorry, we had the same event but in different perspectives. and repeated dialogue, and I hate it when visual novels do that. I really, really do. I mean, if it's a visual novel like this, yeah, sure, fine. But, yeah, not really here. I didn't like it much. But, yeah, I think, to be honest, I just don't really like that we didn't get the, culprit of the, Kyohakujo, the blackmail letters in the end. I kind of wish we did. And I do think it's interesting, all of the cliffhanger elements that were posed at the end of the story. I'm actually quite surprised that Aoi is friends with Bloomin' Yumi out of everybody. But yeah, honestly, those are my only problems with the story. I think it's a really quite sweet romance story. And oh my god, it just presents the most complicated and, if I'm going to be honest, weird relationship. I mean, they have such odd circumstances, and you can tell that whoever began their relationship, like whoever sent that letter, they did not want anything of the sort. They were probably just trying to make them feel really quite upset. And what's quite cool about this story as well is, let's be honest, Mikoto and Shiori, they are really, really flawed, and you can really see how those flaws kind of impact them and impact their relationship as well. Because I mean, Mikoto, I was just looking at some of the community content. Why didn't she just tell a teacher and continue? She just acted so impulsively. I mean, I get that she was really stressed, but at the same time, she just really didn't take it right. And there's a lot of times where, oh my god, I feel bad for her in the sense that I suppose her, well, she has no self-confidence as well. There is absolutely nothing that you can say about that. But yeah, it's just interesting how all of that kind of makes this relationship a lot more tricky. And my god, that part where Shiori and Mikoto have a really bad misunderstanding, it could really go both ways. It really could. Now, that's kind of something I wish happened a bit more. When, for example, Mikoto talks to Nagisa, I just kind of wish like side characters like that have more development. And I think Aoi had so much potential, and you could clearly see by the end of the story that Aoi has some sort of weird hatred to Mikoto. I think that's because of the fact that Mikoto makes Yumi's life so hard, and that's kind of why she does that. But it's interesting that she literally tries to steal Shiori away from Mikoto. But yeah, it's just, Aoi is a character especially that I just wish we had more development on. I mean, obviously the story is kind of prioritising Mikoto and Shiori, but I just so wish there was more with the side characters. But yeah, I think another thing that I really like is the art of this visual novel. So now we're going to go into full spoiler mode, so stop watching if you don't want spoilers. But yeah, this art is amazing. Seriously, they did such a good job on this. Oh god, what am I doing? There we go. Yeah, I love the art here. The CGs are amazing. I like the sprites as well. Very, very unique. And, oh my god, can I just mention, sorry? This scene here is so funny, reading it in Japanese, because you look up all these knitting related terms in the dictionary, and you don't even understand what the English is, never mind the Japanese. Anyway, yeah. But, yeah, I love the art, and the soundtrack is really, really memorable as well, and it's nice that, obviously it's good, because if you are not the best at reading Japanese, you're going to be spending a lot of time hearing these soundtracks, let's be honest here. So, it's good that the soundtrack's listenable. I don't know, if I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've ever played a visual novel with bad soundtrack before. Like, I'm being serious. Visual novels just do not have bad soundtrack. It feels like, I mean, obviously, put something in the comments that has complete crap soundtrack. Prove me wrong, sure. But I've just never played one. Well, to be fair, a lot of the visual novels I play are regarded as kamiges. So, yeah, that's probably why. And you can actually view all of the stories here. Stories? What? I meant music. Now, what's also cool about this visual novel, I don't actually have it here because it got a bit annoying, but you can, whenever you hover over any of the options, you can hear either Mikoto or Shiori's voice. And yeah, it's a bit weird. It's nothing like anything I've seen before. I mean, it's cool, but yeah, I did turn it off because of it being a bit annoying in the end. But yeah, it was still quite a nice addition. Yeah, so I am quite happy I read this in the end, because the best thing about reading a visual novel in Japanese, if you ask me, is like because the thing is, I'm having to balance all of this with school stuff. So obviously I don't want to do textbook learning because that's just boring as fuck, and let's be honest, you get so much more from reading. But it doesn't feel like you're actually learning. It just feels like you're reading a story, but obviously it's a lot more difficult. And also it's really good in the sense that you get, as well as getting knowledge of the language out from reading, you also get a story. And what I'm gonna do now is so if you guys have been keeping up with what I'm doing on my channel, I'm reading Fata Morgana at the moment. I'm planning on finishing Fata Morgana, and then I'm actually going to reread Tsuyuchiru Letter in English, because it is a really quite short story. I'm sure, like, I'm going to do it on auto mode. I won't really be reading the backlog or anything. And yeah, I'm hopefully going to take like 2 or 3 sessions. It'll be really quite fun, I think. And it would be weird as well, just seeing a lot of the scenes I took so long to read in Japanese, just reading instantly in the language that I'm fluent in. That will be cool. But yeah, to be honest, I think this was a fun visual novel. And at the end of the story as well, let me just get it. This is so weird, this ending. Oh, okay, it didn't show it, but it says to be continued in the ending. So I do wonder if they are going to make a sequel to this. And I hope they do, to be honest, because there's a cliffhanger, there's plot that has quite a lot of potential. And oh my god, that's so weird with Maho. It seems like she might have had the same treatment as Shiori. I just wish we saw the culprit, to be honest, but maybe that's going to be what happens in the cliffhanger. Sorry, not the cliffhanger, the second installment. That is, if there is going to be a second installment. And I just wonder, if we get this second installment, if Mikoto and Shiori are actually going to be able to still persist in their relationship, and if anything's going to go wrong as well. I mean, let's be honest, the fact that Yumi and Aoi know each other, I mean, that's just planting the seeds for something to go wrong, let's be honest here. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say about the story. Yeah, it's going to be really quite weird not reading this, to be honest. Next, oh yeah, here's the achievements list if you wanted to see it. Next, I'm reading Kanon in Japanese. It's going to be my first key visual novel. What? Oops. I've done a haul of key visual novels, and I still need to get the Clannad side stories, and I think I need to get Lupus as well. But then I've got all of the key visual novels, and I intend to read these. So my visual novel plan is kind of read Fata Morgana and then read Muv-Luv, and 100% Kimi ga Nozomu Ein when the 18 plus edition comes out, and then I'm gonna read lots of key visual novels. And this is gonna be my first one, so it kind of feels like I'm really going into a big rabbit hole when I begin this one. So yeah, I'm really excited for it, honestly. I don't know what the story's going to be like. I hope it's gonna be good. And yeah, it's gonna be a real step up from Tsuyuchiru Letter, because it's like the auto mode length is 30 hours. So I spent I only read this when I was free, so sometimes I would only read this like 1 or 2 days a week. So this did take 4 months to read. So I'm expecting Kanon to take an absolute, Well, I'm expecting it to take a lot more time. Anyway, that's everything I wanted to cover. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.